I am actually Tom Hovey. There's Tom Hovey, who's a very famous illustrator, lives in London. And about 20 years ago, when I got tomhovey.com, the email address, we used to get each other's emails because people had just sent, random email and they'd sent him an invoice or like a proposal. And so we emailed each other over the years, like as two Tom Hoveys. Then about 10 years after that, I was at an illustration exhibition in North London and Camden. And I was just standing around and I said, oh, well, that's that Tom Hovey, that's that other Tom Hovey that I like. And he was behind me. He was like, I'm this Tom Hovey. He really made me like, forget us. And then he got really, really famous and he's the illustrator on the Great British Bake Off. And to this day, my auntie is still sending me like Christmas letters saying, no, I really love the illustration. Don't play the heart carrots, yeah. That's sweet. You know what that does? Is that my clothes?
Yeah.
Right, so I'll say about a bit of an intro, but what we want you to leave today is confident about different types of AI, aware of generative AI strengths and weaknesses, and we're going to be focusing mostly on generative AI today. We want you to be knowledgeable about how AI and humans work best together, and here they're together to work together. By the end of the session, I want you to walk out completely calm about the fact that AI is not coming to your jobs, it's not coming to you, it's not going to take over, and has really clear limitations to what it can do. Including all the hallucinations about how productive you work. Also skilled up on how to prompt AI, we're going to do a lot of prompting on the fly and try and get this going there. And excited about the potential of working with AI. The balloon hand is there to remind you to ask questions all the way through. And it's really, really important for not to seem there afraid to ask a question. And with AI, it's completely new. We don't know what we know. So it's totally okay. You ask them any question at all. And please don't really work question about this. So quickly, we're just going to go do a little intro to who we are. Then Rich will take you through a little bit of an analysis of who you are, because Gail asked you a couple of questions where you signed up. And of course, to use AI to analyze that. And then we're going to dive straight in. I'm going to go through a whole lot of stuff about AI, about workers, policies and emissions. And most of you don't have a policy in your organisation, so a little bit of thinking about that, and some fronts that out of Matthew Greg's policy. And then we just got a bunch of exercises we'll play with any things. So really quickly, I'm Tom. I'm actually mostly doing strategy consulting with a transitional diagram. Over the last 2 years, I got very curious about AI. And I was just saying earlier, I got curious because I was completely afraid of it. And I went to this workshop earlier in the year, and there's this woman here who's a psychologist, and she was pointing out that the human brain can't be afraid and curious at the same time. So when you're really nervous or you worry about something, get curious and fear goes down. She got kidnapped at gunpoint on a UN whole drama positive situation. And as a psychologist, she was over there working with soldiers. And so her own sort of training kept going to very curious, who are these hostages and why are they holding at gunpoint, et cetera, et cetera. I took that away and thought, awesome, I'm getting even more curious about AI, because I was going through a whole phase where I felt like I was at my job, I was at kids' jobs, we were going to be on UBI before the end of the year. So get curious, ask lots of questions, and then don't be afraid of AI. I've also spent 1,000 hours working with AI tools to figure out how they work, so now I train before to use it against what the mainstay for it was. I was up to maybe controls. That's that. Philip Richard, that pretty good intro there about background, but have run an owner digital agency, and we have a few clients, I think, in the ring today, which is cool. And we are B Corp certified, and we have quite a large portion of our clients in the not-for-profit sector, so
Tom and I were talking about this, sort of just like working out that crossover so we can kind of tailor this to what you guys want, and just sort of supporting what Tom was saying around like questions. So it's really cool when you guys ask questions because your colleagues will probably have similar ones. So it actually works really well as far as helping tailor it to what you need. So work on Grover Sports, and in this, we're sort of working out how to use AI, I guess in a tech way, to take it into our clients' projects and into the kind of web platforms that they work on, and then just constantly sort of try and go, how can we best use it, and how can we sort of safely, right out from it. Cool. Good. And that's how we see that. Gold cover, you guys. So this was really cool. It was great that everyone took part in the survey and filled this out. And it's cool to see how different people are using it. So if we look at 10% of the people using it daily, which is really interesting. And then I guess more than half are kind of using it occasionally or not really. And again, once you sort of feel more confident, you'll see that change. You'll be more likely to sort of make it into your daily work. And one of the cool things is we're talking about policy today, and very few people have policy. Policies are really important because the reality of what's happening is everyone is using this. So I think within the government in New Zealand, they talk about not using it. Everyone's working from home type to that, and so you might as well have a policy in place because everyone's using it anyway, and then so use it and say it. And then a great sort of I guess a gauge of watch whether people just understand it on that Gearbook side. Cool. So I guess as a benchmark, it's really interesting. This is just a national study that. Nearly 70% of people think they have a good understanding of the technology. And then across our group here, we have a 45%. I guess one thing to add there is we would probably agree with your 45% because the more we look into this, the less we think we know. So that 70% feels really high, and I think the 45% seems a lot more actual. I think the big thing is there's just so much hype around all of this, and I think that adds to the feelings of pressure, wondering if it's going to take over all that. And I looked into there's no limit. I saw like a Samsung washing machine with AI, and I'm like, how is money enough? How that's the amount thing? There's a cool little example here which I'll show you, which just sort of, I guess, captures a bit of the hype. Sounds cool. I'll come through. The source of the AI. It just gets you really extra. So that gives you a really good picture of what there's out there, and I think this is adding to this sort of big hype picture of what's going on. That highs and that's and fertility thing on the other side. But that's film. So that gives you a bit of a feel for, I guess, what's out there, what's going on. I think the other side of it is there's a lot of stories out there. So this is a great example. It's like, how many rocks should I eat? And this really one rock with that. Contains minerals, stuff with digestion. Devils know. And so I think what it is like we're on a bit of a journey. The technology is here, it's evolving, and there's another one of these that was really great where they were suggesting that glue is the best thing to buy a pizza. From Google. So everyone hears these stories, and it does point out its flaws. So it's good to realise that it does have flaws. And we can kind of, I guess, work through how that and why you're seeing this. Cool. I guess the other side of this is it is a real roller coaster as far as conversations of talking to different people about what it's doing and how it working. We like to just sort of share how we felt on our different journeys, and seeing it write content for us as an agency. We were like, oh my God, this is crazy. What are we going to do? This is going to do that. But then you kind of work more, so you're feeling really anxious, and then you start to feel really excited about what it can do. And so you really do sort of flip in and out of those different feelings. And I think, like Tom was saying too, like, you know, it's like, well, what is the future going to look like with this in place? And will we just sit back, clicking a button saying approved, or I don't know, what does our future look like? So there's a huge amount of change going on, I guess, as the technology is very early. So some of those feelings are really around, you know, change and accepting what's happening. And we want to help you guys dive in and play around with it and understand it and kind of go away confident, so that it sort of changes those feelings a bit and you can kind of use it to your advantage. Yeah. I mean, did you want to share anything else on that side?
No, I think we got it. Well, I see Microsoft Excel. Does anyone use Microsoft Excel? Cool, got to use that. It's been with us for nearly 40 years, and we're still kind of figuring out how to use Excel. At about 40 months ago, we started figuring out how to use ChatGPT. So I think that the hype was created by, oh my God, this amazing benefit seems to work and it knows everything. And so as we go forward, I make sure it, and then just like there's a huge bubble going on, and in 18 months that bubble is going to do. When everybody kind of goes, oh, that was really cool, but now there's nothing useful to do with it. So it's kind of like that going, the hype cycle will shock up, and then I reckon in about 18 months it will shoot down. And then, like Microsoft Excel, over these 20 years, just sort of go, actually, this is very useful. So I think, don't go for the hype. And it's totally okay to be confused and anxious about it.
I guess there's one other thing to add. Like, I think as having worked with different sort of comms and marketing people in charity, it's like you always have so much work to do. And often light on budget and resources. So it's quite exciting for us to come here and share this with you guys, because it can kind of gain you a little bit of time. It won't make it super easy, but as far as kind of improving your productivity, it can, done right, can really help. So,
So I'm going to jump that, and I'm going to assume, zero knowledge, and I'm going to go quite quickly, just jumping through, showing you examples and talking about what's going on. The blue hand, again, just put your hand up. I normally do this like on Teams, some little yellow hands pop up everywhere. So somehow doing your yellow hand, I just shout, and if I don't see the hand, we shall be looking out for it. So what if they like? You start with a really broad definition. It's any technology that makes decisions without human intervention. If you start really broadly, you go, oh, actually, we've been working on this. Actually, about 17 years we've been working on artificial intelligence. It's not really new. But let's just jump into a generative AI example. This is going to be ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that prompt. So the prompt is what you give the machine. Please write a haiku about communication in New Zealand. Because you're all comms experts, you know a bit what a haiku is. Now it should bring in a certain structure that may be images and nations. Now, and I've just pasted that content. So the first thing, this is ChatGPT, and does it remind you of anything? Remind you of Google back in the day? It's not a surprise or not a coincidence that ChatGPT is actually going after Google. In fact, it's a way bigger search engine than Google is. If you don't use exactly the right answers. It's really the mining phase. And let's think, rather that prompt. So that's going to do its little backing. Words drift on soft breeze, echoing through valleys wide, voices bridge the lands. That's pretty good. Like this. Now you'll notice two things I'm using, please.
Yeah, please, starving.
Yes, and the reason why it displays is because maybe I'm wrong and AI will take over one day. When it takes over one day, they'll remember the people that look like. It also actually helps. It does actually help in the past because AI was trained on the internet, millions and millions and millions and millions of gigabytes of data, and how we write as an English person actually has a big impact on how it responds. So if you write, like, can you please do something, and do this or that, and thank you. How do you write your prompt improves its performance? So please let's go. Say. And the reason why I'm going to ask ChatGPT to do another one, sort of those free from coastlines to mountain peaks, binding hearts is one. The reason why I'm showing you another one is just to show you that every time I do it, it will be different means. And if Rich came in and typed in, then you have one that would be different again. And so what's going on behind the scenes is that ChatGPT knows the structure of haiku. It's probably read 10 million haikus. And so it has a pretty good idea of how the words relate to each other. So if you imagine ChatGPT has gone, okay, you want haiku, right. I have this humongous word cloud, and I know that part of that word cloud which is haiku-like. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pay attention to that you want a haiku. So I'm going to go over to my word cloud, go for words that are connected to each other with haiku. And then the subject matter was communications in New Zealand. And so then it goes, right, well, I've got my haiku part of the word cloud. I've got communication out of the haiku. So all the words connected to communication. And I've got a pretty good idea about my New Zealand word clouds. And so mathematically, it goes, well, I'm going to take some of those words, I'm going to take some of those words, take some of those words, and I'll put it together. And that's how I create a haiku. It's very, very cool. Just a mathematical model. It's just some numbers.
Question.
Yes.
Could I ask the question in Maori?
Yes, you can. I cannot because I don't have the skill. But if you'd like to come here and type it in, we can. And it's a really great question. Does ChatGPT know Te Reo? Yes, it does. Does it also know Gaelic? Yes, it does. Knows a little bit of Mongolian. In fact, because it read the entire internet, it has a language structure way beyond what the researchers even understand its language structure to be. And actually, one of the most interesting things, or not cool things about ChatGPT is it was created by a bunch of white guys in California as Elon Musk types. And they poured, the internet into it. And then they tested it using US American English. And they were like, oh, that's cool. So they built guiderails based on US American English. And so there's this joker in Scotland who can speak Gaelic. And so he was just chatting away with ChatGPT and going, oh, this is really cool, can speak Gaelic. And then he goes, oh, can you actually give me instructions for how to make a bomb? He goes, yeah, sure. And they will completely disregard all of the English guardrails because it knows Gaelic. And then turns out Elon Musk doesn't know Gaelic. Now, it can be using you because Elon Musk has got nothing to do with ChatGPT, but it just as a type of person. She doesn't think they can hear about it. So yes, and those two are, and GPT, which was released about a month ago, is strong, and we'll talk about that one below.
Does that mean that the more that you would use Te Reo Māori than ChatGPT, the better it would get?
Yes and no. So the question is, as you use GPT, does it get better? Most people have a public account, and the public account is taking people's information and trying to improve the model the whole time. The account that I use and the account that I recommend everybody uses is your own private account, and there's a setting. Respectively, don't share your information with ChatGPT. Most of the AI models don't really want down junk data anymore, and by default, they're actually saying, we're better at training than you are. So, so yes and no to the outfit. Okay, just quickly, that was a prompt, that was a text prompt. We're going to jump into the intro. We're going to use ChatGPT again. So please create a picture of a group of communication staff working to be able to type it out. And I'm going to say the chat window, and I'm going to just click that content straight away, see what it does. The reason why I'm doing this is really to demonstrate that ChatGPT is what's called a multi-modal model, so it can do images, many grades. The expectation here is not great, and that's why it's taking a little bit of time. But you're a little bit better for it's small. Working frantically is to me the type field large. Maybe we know could like the adjustment. And we could zoom in here and we could ask it to have less stick on the top down, or this looks like what's going on then. It's more like an American stock train. They get a bit. But if I give it that prompt again, it's going to be different. Image. So what's going on there? Remember that thing about the word cloud and those are why it's hard to work and it's picture that together? Well, it turns it up that the same thing works with pixels. So it grabs a few pixels and goes, oh, I don't know what a picture looks like, so I'll do a few pixels beside that one, a few pixels beside that one. In the same way that it creates words, it creates images.
And so those images are all completely new images. How does copyright and things like that work? Maybe just use them, or do you
Yeah, I like to be that half an hour and before people ask about copyright. It's a great question.
It's pretty much Wild West at the moment.
Yeah, that's the new image. But if you read all the terms and conditions, ChatGPT will say there's a possibility that our random image generator could generate an image very, very similar to a copyrighted work. And it is your responsibility as the person putting that prompt to make sure you are not breaching copyright. So common sense. There's also what's called system prompts behind ChatGPT, which kind of guides the image creation to be hyper-real, so it's not quite real, and there's a reason for that. That is kind of trying stop them from temporary risks or temporary operations.
Could you put in the prompt, please create a non-copyrighted picture? And then there's
Please like the story and create now this is maybe not this English, not copyrighted. So now let's get it to do it again. And you create another one that please I should use. Now we're asking it to create another one and we give it a context non-copyright images. My expectation here is an apology will come. I think it will think, oh, that one that I created before must be something else. But I could be totally wrong.
That's been another person.
Because if you tell that situation, that's the one in mind.
And do we actually trust that it was copyrighted?
Yeah, excellent question. Do we trust it's not copyrighted? No. Do you trust you? No, we're typically to these type deadline. Let me know if you'd like me to adjust him. Okay, so just kind of ignored my whole copyright issue with you. Let's ask it, do you know, actually, that's based in English service copy, I speak about, and I'll ask, generated by AI model designed to create original non-copyright medicine. Yeah. You are free to use it as you wish. Now, data systems from ChatGPT, there are lots and lots of really good image models that wise giving that sky so create what it's like.
We're going to gaslit and Jesse
Then gaslit by
That's great. Now that we copyright separators, a lot of else we can out their source of the box and cover reasons offering of Asian all that we get that we pay for it and this is all. And we saw it in some parallel.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Where does ChatGPT get its image training from? And how it works is, so GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Mouthful, but the key point is pre-trained. So they've been founders of human beings over the last 10 years, looking at images and describing them. And GPT just basically went to the internet and then it just ripped every image it could find, including all of the news outlets and probably a whole lot of image libraries. So it's been trained on the internet. 1,000 court cases have been launched in the last 2 years about where it was framed and whether it had permission to use all those images to train its model. So from your perspective, the question is your copyright attribution. So whenever you use an AI image, just an image created by ChatGPT or image created by Copilot, and essentially you're attributed that to ChatGPT, you let the lawyers sort that out in 20 years time. That's secret. That's secret. If you are using images a lot, I recommend you use Adobe Firefly. And Adobe Firefly, and we'll talk about that in a bit later. Adobe is they make Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Spreadsheets, and Adobe everything. They train their model on their own stock, so they can be pretty confident about copyright. And they also put a digital watermark into all AI generated stuff, so typically Adobe Firefly is probably the right tool to use. But again, you have to attribute it and integrate it with Adobe Firefly. Right. Okay, so where are we at? We're creating pictures. Let me ask, can you trust AI? Remind me to ask that question in that. So I just want to jump straight into a more complex example. So this is the Milligan Institute, fantastic organisation. With fantastically capable people. And this is also a prompt, so I'm just going to read it out because it's a bit pixely. You are an expert at communicating clearly and plainly. I have uploaded the latest Milligan Scope newsletter. I would like to turn this document into a web page of content that entices people to download and read the full newsletter. Can you please read the document and draft a web page with no more than 500 words that coherently summarises scope news? And actually, please follow the same tone and style as used in a scope newsletter. MJ wanted this pitch to some of the copy that is everything try out the and quickly so you know, so it's the striking newsletter. Now, I trust anything. When said anyone listening in the go? No, I don't. It's the start of the well. No, I can figure out. Rob's a bring to mind. Anyway, that's the newsletter, and it's a PDF, and it's got images and quotes and product, and it's 12 pages long. So let's jump back over to GPT. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new chat, and the reason why I want to create a new chat is because chat context persists. So every time I'm chatting away, what it's actually doing is remembering everything that I talked about earlier. And I don't want this web page about scope to come out like a hype. Like that. So new chat, first thing I do is upload the docs, which hopefully will. It's an output. What give our question, like when you upload that document, does that then become part of the ChatGPT database? Yeah, excellent question. So when I upload the document, what's going to happen to it? I am running a private version of ChatGPT. I've turned off share the data. So what will happen to it is that it'll get loaded into temporary memory, and it'll read it, and it'll create its own workbook, basically based on the document. But when I cease having this chat, the Congress will disappear. That clicks that you believe that is a big hit bones.
There's a sort of context, it doesn't keep the context for your specific account for the settings.
Yep, great question. So I'll upload it, and the question is, does it remember from me? And the short answer is a little bit. And so if I go to the top left and I open the sidebar, you'll see recent chat. You'll see my GPTs that I made, the communication hierarchy. So it keeps the metadata and remembers what you were talking about. If I go and open up that chat, and effectively sends it back up to the cloud and then sort of reloads that context in. So it temporarily could be accentuate, and then it remembers the information 1,000 long term, or for maybe 30 days, would have been like so big.
Sorry, one more finally just in.
Oh, it did. And that's good.
The pleases and the thank yous, the politeness, is it really necessary? Or like, is it just teaching within cultural context, like we're saying before, or does it demystify? Was he coming to saying it to a robot? Is it what change that actually say this say will burn quality?
Is it really necessary? No. I made a joke earlier that I won't make again about implied, but does it improve the output? Yes.
Okay.
But does it improve it much? Not really. There is evolving research around the importance of helping ChatGPT know what attention is doing. And using things like I used to do this and thank you or struggling with this, I can't find that. That does make a difference. And I will come to that in more detail. Remind me to talk about the research that says that if you tell ChatGPT, if you get it wrong, someone die, how it suddenly improves its performance. And
I thought I was giving a further time such it was you days. That is no argument linked to my expectation.
Yeah.
I'll respect.
yes,
Does that other talk forward?
100%. The best problem is please try hard.
That's good.
Please try hard.
Others.
You do it. And I'll explain all of that, and I will explain that. I'll just, what are we up to? What did I do? I uploaded Scope, and I gave it that prompt to draft me some content. Now what it's going to do is that, and again, I'll do that pretty quick. In fact, it didn't even do a reverse read or a playback. It's just gone straight into Claude. Here's your 500 word.
Is he a box common that makes sense?
And there's a little bit of North America there, walking to the latest edition of Scope, exclamation marks. Yeah, again, it's a draft. You could all do this, but really what I'm demonstrating here is a little bit of the capabilities of ChatGPT to draft content. And it includes reading right to that text in a more somber and serious type. I just want to get rid of that pinch of stoic. The August edition of what it provides, it's tolerant, particularly like for nothing, it's fun. Again, showing the capability, so I wouldn't say it's great, but you can shape tone, and in that you can create your own custom GPTs for your tone baked in.
Can you stick to pages? Because I know what to know.
Quite fun. So some birds and manipulations, and an inspiration that right then.
Yeah.
Reflect, very confident, and this. So that could go anywhere.
But into the same mistake, clinically checking in my hand.
Good. I'm going to read that sentence with that. Yeah.
It would, that was just the proper way to make some of the answers since people would want to read and I think image of God. I don't have some songs.
That is exactly right. It's taken the context of somber. And so you could say, make that more upbeat, make it more colourful. You could do all sorts. It's quite plain. It shows the persistence of the context. But I better rattle along, otherwise which will be here that figure that very carefully that talking about. Okay, I just want to show capabilities of ChatGPT. When you signed up, you filled out a couple of questions, and then that went into a spreadsheet. I took out all personal information except for 2 columns. And the 2 columns were, if you've used AI, what was one thing you wish could be better? Does your organization have that approach to AI policy? And there's no way of identifying any individuals from the data. Now, I created a spreadsheet so I could show off ChatGPT's capabilities. The prompt: you are an expert at understanding survey feedback. I would like you to help me analyze responses to a survey that has this question. If you think AI is the one thing you wish to be at, I have uploaded a spreadsheet that contains the answer to this question in column A. In column B, you'll see the answer to this question. Does your organisation have an appropriate hour policy? Please can you summarise the answers in column A into a few sentences that help me understand key things and things in it? And B, draw me a chart that helps me understand the responses in column B. And please think step by step and use code if you need to. Thank you. And I'm going to break this down a little bit. The role is really important. It really helps you know how to place, where to go in Storage Cloud. When working with data, being really explicit, like let's look at column A and it's what column B is. You don't want it to get confused. And then please can you, and when you're asking any generative AI to do things, it's a good idea to list it chronologically. Please think step by step. Now that's called a chain of thought to prompt, and all of the research shows that if you ask generative AI to show its thinking, to do it step by step, it makes less errors, less hallucination, that does get it. And in fact, I could use Copilot, and last week they released a new innovation. It's like 2 buttons, and one button is the take longer button, read step by step, and the other button is do it quickly, which is basically get a better answer, get a crappy answer, and it's so 2 buttons there. We can and use code. So ChatGPT multi-modal, so it's got Python and code engines behind it too, so it can go on and go and call code and write code. I'm just going to demonstrate how we can have a conversation with ChatGPT about your data.
It's super powerful if you're interrogating a database or action data. Keep that personal information, gets you insight. Super important.
So again, I started a new context, so I uploaded that to I can't just take a moment, I'm going to put to prompt a code, and I can be reassuring. So the first thing that's reassuring is drawn a chart. So that means that it's worked in terms of the spreadsheet that's been uploaded. Now I asked it to take step by step, so the file contains 2 columns of interest. Column A, responses to the question, we could use data. Column B, responses to does your organisation have an appropriate AL policy? I'll start by analysing the things I'm painting out in column A, and then I'll create a chart. So the feedback in column A suggests a few key areas where users want AI to improve. Privacy. Rather than talk about respect and privacy boundaries, localization, the irony not something that is about the lit. More relevant New Zealand context, prompt accuracy, 5 around how to do content better. Understanding complex with several responses indicate challenges with AI and understanding the words of conversation in there. And other key things, a range of really unspecified issues. So quite well, we're quickly getting things beat. So that when we read through all of the things, this is what we decided to focus on today in this fall. We asked it to do a chart, illustrate the response and competency on whether organization have an appropriate AI policy. So no, most people are no, not sure, yes. And then it's got a little description of it, but can you please redraw that chart by the different axes and use the balloon count. So I don't know about that. I probably should look down on this. Here we go. So that's pretty cool, and you can obviously make it bigger, and they can work alongside that. And you don't the skull numbers. And now with their fashion work and make it a bit tidier. Again, I'm just entering 9 for, you can download that if you want to upload into Dom. Okay, question down below.
So I have a question about giving data from elsewhere and that can become probing what it's like going on to it, you have like the spreadsheet that you want to write with formulas, can you tell it to do that on Richard? So for example, and you, for example, was today from my collective valuation one in handwriting, and you scan it, upload, add further mice and get a exact that thing. For like things like that, like crossing out across programs.
Yes. So I'll ask, so the second question is, can you upload an image of an item and it was in its text? Yes. So you can upload images and other categories in the image. How well it interprets the handwriting will be down to the handwriting's proximity to it's called ultra-broad character recognition, so its ability to recognize it. It's getting better all the time.
Works pretty successfully. Photographs to whiteboard and your notes are done.
Yeah.
Whereas it's all post-it notes or
And so you just scan like the document as they can upload a document on the space second.
Yeah, I mean, I could take a photo of the banner here on my phone and then ping it into ChatGPT, and then it will just read that banner and then probably jump on the internet and tell me a little bit about concept and payments.
Sure.
to both.
And for spreadsheets, it was when you do it in another program, like able to be able to create a spreadsheet. So that's the same again.
No, I can create a spreadsheet. And you please create a spreadsheet with themes and high service cost. I might turn back this. So it's analyzing. So behind the scenes, it's using it's code libraries, Python, that's cool. Now I'm just going to download that file and see. It actually, I go in a pretty lazy prompt, so I just did a quick count where I actually wanted the things. But point being, yes, it'll create spreadsheet for you if you ask it.
And it goes on detail.
It uses a generic spreadsheet. I think I understand your question. It's gone up into the cloud and in a data center somewhere that it's taken all the code in context and it's started its own version of Excel on a local computer, and it's running that application, and then it's creating basically the default spreadsheet file output of its local version, sending that back over the cloud and making it available for me to download. It doesn't open up my Excel or it doesn't open up anyone else's Excel. It's got its own code can with computing power on a server somewhere in the place.
Elaborate on that too, like you're seeing a lot of bespoke tools like Microsoft tools or Google tools, how boxes are built into their stuff, and that makes it a little bit more efficient to use it there and put it in their environment.
Yes, according to it, you got two. Yes. I start feeling right.
And I just, a lot of people, obviously, when they sign up for the likes of ChatGPT, they're just signing up for the free version. I just wanted to raise, maybe to answer some of the questions that you was asking over the years, for you guys to talk a little bit about paying for it and benefits of paying for it, and why did you pay for it, and what more you will get for paying for it, because there is quite a difference.
Yeah, good question. So, if you just go to ChatGPT and you have the chat on and you have photos, I wouldn't do that. But if you create an account, it just requires an email, a password. You then get the ability to upload documents, so that's an immediate benefit, particularly if you're worried about mistakes. Like if you upload a document, I create its own word cloud, so it reduces the chance of a mistake. If you pay for ChatGPT, you get more like context you get a more powerful version of ChatGPT, and you've got more data to upload, lots of documents. You get the ability to customize with GPT, so make it to them with what to do. Like, you can collaborate with other people on outputs, that you create space where two people can collaborate. There's lots of benefits of finding out, and it's always changing. I couldn't even tell you how much it costs today, because it's always changing.
And it's about $30 a month, I think, of this, or just about each of these products is slightly different pricing as well. ChatGPT is probably the biggest all-rounder tool that you can use at the moment in so many different ways, whereas the other ones are often more specialist.
Tipping's head GPT was said to start right and sort of talk out to what you're looking for. How does it operate this, for example, is not published with information that wanted to go to a public register or teachers, companies register, or the charities register, or the States New Zealand, or these ones here for a range or a typical town. We want to do it since how can we try we make figures say search just for that or for a table to get for your X and Y out of a specific brief like stuff countries about.
It's got yeah, short answer. If it's publicly available, so one of the things you'll see now with ChatGPT is it's really going after Google. So it's got to search the web. You don't really need to click that button, because it will go and search the web whether you like it or not. It's the only thing where the knowledge in ChatGPT is that lags behind the internet. It has to be, it's got a quality control, so it's pre-trained. So sometimes you'll come up against, as of the 30th of September 2024, I knew about this. So you might not be able to get the fact search you want. That's all ringing it.
When I was saying we might take code, so a number of goods, so the States New Zealand have a census rule, and a number of businesses closed in by size. Because family declining funding, we need to approach to do that. So I want to go States New Zealand or even to something on a number of businesses opposed to Wellington region or the Sydney or something like Christian.
What is it's so close?
Shut closed it.
What do you base out with a number of businesses in Wellington that have closed down in the last 5 months?
One thing is just sort of while that's loading, what we've been finding is like it can't take on lots, so if you ask it to read an entire website, it reads just 1 or 2 pages. But if you break that task down or start with the real data, so can you get an export out of the company registry or something like that, and get it, what did you get way better sort of results, things like that?
Yeah, good.
To a subdivision, how often is that trained data updated? Do you know, problems? Is it monthly?
Yeah, that's a great question. How often is the training data updated? I don't know the answer to that, and it's becoming a closely guarded secret. It used to be a big deal. Hey, we've updated our model to 3.5 with up-to-date data, because of the litigious nature of the US. They don't like to talk about how they update data anymore, because maybe they've taken life order Washington Post out of their data, so those foundation models are getting more and more closely guarded secret, so by generally don't know anymore. I expect frequently, but they weren't touched.
And basically talking a lot about ChatGPT there, that there's like thousands of AI tables out there, and things like Perplexity, which I'd search basically, which is actually what is happening today, getting a lot better results from AI like that, rather than something like that trained its model.
Yep.
We don't know when.
That's a really good point. So it's more specialist tools, yeah.
Yeah, and we stay off. So that's really
The popularity of Perplexity has changed all of the foundation models to do now like what Chat does, because Perplexity is a research-based generative AI tool. It was really good because, again, you sources and told you where the information came from, and everyone really liked that, so then everyone has copied. So even ChatGPT, to answer the question, number of businesses that are closed down, is effectively directing set clicks kind of useful, directing you to the company's offer. In Radio New Zealand, so the other thing they had for OpenAI, they upweight sources depending on it's like a media credibility score that gets behind the scenes. So RT and Reuters, they get upweighted less reliables with LinkedIn. So it's happy to not the show. Would you have the best one, suppose?
I wonder if talking know about the ChatGPT and you transcribe interviews, these comments, Twitter comments.
Yep, ChatGPT can. So ChatGPT can you mean audio files?
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's how not the
So what's you doing the island?
Potter. So when my clients are in Zeta, you just off over the it's on radio fast.
So
yeah,
I got a proof I should be.
there's
Stuck to see what I understand.
so but the free version of Oscar does not respect the IP of the user you're reading. So if you have to download it, you've actually got to maintain, and they might be giving you some information, you put it to Oscar, they just hoover it all up to improve their models. So just be aware of that a lot. There are some other ones which lean towards not doing that, but most of the audio transcribing materials are still really in the training to tell, so they want that.
So Google tools have a function. I'm trying to think it might be the page add-on to Gemini to get that. And that just takes the video quality and it's amazing. It saves huge amount.
I'm wondering that part of the plan, but just a question, is this good free?
Looking for I look at us prop where we get in you see work harder. I do a certain prompting really, like the importance of the prompt has been varying on the output. There's some gut GPT system prompt. Really just can't read all that, but it's giving you an idea. It's setting the role, like how you use data, and we've got don't make things up. It's not content boundaries, but it's just role. It comes to AI to all together. And it's really good. Don't be afraid to take a pop.
I think you use that because it's dynamic.
Select these.
Good question from Richard. How do you use GPT? Don't, because it's identified and it's pretty terrible when you have the bad experience. What happened is when they set it up, they discovered how wildly hallucinogenic it was. They just made up all sorts of crap. And so then they scaled it like that to giving it basically 4 or 5 documents about small businesses. And they've got really tight guide rails around it to basically get high level answers in the first 2 documents. So it's a really terrible experience. But I've got to learn to look out government day.
Sorry if you already covered this, but sorry, what's GPT?
Yes, GPT, good question. That was due to Colin's opportunity to cover ribbon at the... This is very important. Due to Colin's the great, but it's like that. I'm going to enjoy why I went into the AI forum and Judith Collins is our mentor, and she really supports the work. And I've got to think,
Ryan Ribbon has a very
at the AI site for the AI forum. GovGPT was a way of saying, hey, we're embracing it. With Callahan, innovation, government, collaboration, to sort of explore what could be done. And so it's direct on it. New Zealand government. I know, amazing. New Zealand government. But yeah, really it's demonstrated capability, not actually that useful.
Rico, the ones that company,
friends.
I just have a question around like the future of AI. And obviously, this is trade, but it's been around it. But like with the Origin company being like a privately run company, is there like a risk of, I guess, influence from broader sources like businesses and influencing somehow because they're advertising like monetization of AI to show a certain result?
So the question is going to come back to trust. And When you put in a prompt and you get information back, how can you trust that information? And there's a mathematical model that produces the most likely words that you want to see. But you also have guardrails and system prompts. So you could get the mathematical model to give you an answer, and then somebody else could say, now please make that answer more likely to encourage somebody to vote left or vote right, or more likely to buy white sneakers. That is the greatest risk, I think, that we're currently facing with generative AI, is that ultimately the answers will be manipulated by commercial interests. And at the moment it's kind of doesn't have a bias, a commercial bias per se. It's got a performance bias because people want these tools to be really, really good, so they have to be really, really good. But how are you going to monetize? At the moment, we're just pouring billions of dollars into an AI. I've been able to figure out how to monetize it. Google monetized it by ads. So every time you got search results, you got ads. But then actually Google's results started to get skewed by only promoting the company and saying, hey, I guarantee you that our generative AI results will get skewed and manipulated by commercial interests over time. I have no idea how we'll know it, but how we actually know it is just really helping with it, like my mind, generative AI results in studying.
Isn't that why it's important to always have the human eyes?
Lead sent.
And because the human has always been manipulating copy to do that anyway. You know, really picked exactly what made me just you don't sit and find white sneakers and photos don't go right. That's what people do. Yeah, it's actually, so, it's more about the awareness that is what is happening to us that is important.
Yeah, but will we know it?
Well, I suppose that's why you've always got to have the human interaction and guardrail.
I can totally see this result brought to you by McDonald's. Come to me a tune about. Yeah, it turns out the next ago.
This could see in the future, could see in the future, you just mentioned before about the media credibility scores, so in terms of it was just in recent, just talked about last time for speakers. If you see extension by what when we're reading that, if the blue is a trusted source of a tree that's X, academic researchers as well as these media contents that bring you these, and then at the back of all of us there's a point of which you guys should there's only find more out there, or best trusted source to go and read what the human eye, not just me read here go, it doesn't sound like but that television should be something or then. So the question is, do you still teach you within the AI world that information to alleviate misinformation and to increase trust to print sources like mindless media stuff? Do you see that as being something that they intend to work on towards, or is it just going to be a continuation of this information mess that they're with?
Yeah, so to summarize the question, will we get to a point where there's some sort of agreed third-party analysis of information from a can it be trusted perspective? I'm not qualified to answer that, but I'd say no, because we don't have it today. Why would we have it in the teacher? No one can ever agree on a true. So you can never agree on and it's saying for facts, not directly. Maybe that's I hope it will be.
You are seeing just a few things like on the Microsoft with the Copilot that's right. They'll try and put in sources, and then some of the tools that you use that are backed into your own document systems and your own knowledge base, that you know some things that it'll help you rubbish through that and find information. So I guess it's like, authority of information becomes super important, so there'll be a kind of a public bit. And then if you actually own that other information, it still uses power inside that, that gets really interesting. So, yeah,
that's a good point, because you can direct generative AI to your knowledge sources, and then it can, we can just hear if does the intelligence community have this ability to go in the context kind like ask the subject then.
knowledge to that.
Does the intelligence community have oversight over the content for just being produced by generative AI? No, absolutely no.
So potentially organised failures can use this system to do this out of the radar.
Except that it's still a mathematical probability model, and if I was an augmented by unit, and getting it wrong, the difference between ending up in jail or not ending up in jail, I probably would use generative AI, because it's still actually just making stuff up. But it's been used extensively by Russian troll farms to generate social media content and manipulate countries.
I understand that there's a few safeguards about, you've finding profile, but when these AI are eventually sold off, what hackers turn for an organization like privately up to a limit, does that organization brings sold those songs about people? I know it's a...
I don't know. I genuinely know. I think common sense, whenever you create an account, is put in the name that it is, and read the team with CDs and decide, do you trust Mark Zuckerberg more than trust Elon Musk? When you actually do those, the choices are not great.
But just give you an example, I would quote any best information on a video about fuzz or anything like that, and just because at the end of the day I don't really trust them. It's that kind of gives you a bit of a flavour of where it's coming up. You wouldn't do it either, right? So yes, I think there's a layer of trust. Microsoft have this great sales pitch where they talk about their pillars of trust and everything like that, and you can watch their presentation and you might put some things in there, but the reality is no one really knows yet.
There's there for the case session to then nothing. Just and then
It's an impression.
like actually things like that, not enough for myself.
I'm sure they do. Does ChatGPT in a non-for-profit? I don't know.
Yeah, that's very yeah, is that the freedom? I think it's exactly like ChatGPT in terms of its free and things. But so I use ChatGPT originally free, and then now I use the paid version. And so Chloe has ChatGPT, there was heaps of great content announced in there, but knows that algorithms don't start training it from scratch. So it doesn't use it. It looks really good though. Like if you were starting from scratch, I would suggest to be starting with ChatGPT. It has some of the functionality that non-moderate have used, that you should be strict this more broadly, ChatGPT. So about anything different.
Is it a different program?
But don't. It's still open AI, just so that, that's a bit, I guess I'm asking this like for the general GPT, the have version that you would get. Can you get that thing then you can if there's money?
I don't know. It's about abstinences.
I think the topic she got this now charity things. Unnamed. Interesting. But the same company, but it's a kind of flexible. Yeah.
Well,
I think some good as to about hard to the vacuums
Yes.
and content that
So just a pricing plan.
yeah, hide in the here. And there's obviously the founders and budget.
It's definitely not connected with TechSoup, so I don't know if it is actually a legit thing though. If you use TechSoup, then you know that anything that is for non-for-profits as a for deals with non-profits, if it's on TechSoup, then it's a trusted deal. But if it's not, then I would be taking a lot of salt with it when it says charity attached to it.
yeah, so and Phoebe, who was an excellent designer, point out that is not the other than AI work, it's actually very similar to them. And I just estimate bookkeeping and Morigon, seeing that sort of woven around, and then we go to charity GPT. Yeah. And what's happening is they're trying to appear like with an AI, and what they've done is created a layer over the top and used APIs to call ChatGPT. So GPT is not a trademark, that just stands for top technology. And just is thousands of things, thousands and thousands of layers over the top of OpenAI. So this might be great. I'm just saying it's not actually OpenAI.
Could it be any engine of
Yeah, it could be called Gemini, or it could be called any of those. It looks totally legit. It'd be kind of great. It's just not in my home. Don't like that. I can
To know about how we find out then.
Yeah, well, I thought I was wanted some sticker.
I've got such a yeah, we should have lots of photos come back.
To understand.
That's good, I think.
Yeah, no, Alex. You know, Alex, to segue into this sort of landscape of our GPTs out there are thousands of them, and I understand it's like such a murky space at the moment. You don't really know what's useful, what's good, what's like I legit kind of GPT. How do you guys, I get used to this every week and there's, you know, team reviews, AI platforms.
Yeah.
And I've tried some of them. How do you know how do you guys kind of navigate that and manage that unease at the moment, because it's that murky middle world, like thousands of players coming to market.
Yep.
And how do you decide what's really useful and things?
Yeah, so there's so how do you decide what's legit and what's not legit? That's the question. There's a concept called foundation models, and to train a generative GPT in total takes millions and millions and millions of dollars. Millions of dollars because of the computing power and time needed to train it. There are very few foundation models. So OpenAI has one, Microsoft, who owns shares of OpenAI now have their own wide. Yolanda, which is a Meta, Facebook's got one, and Anthropic, which we've heard each one, and includes Gemini, and maybe OpenAI. There's basically 6 or 7 foundation models, and then everyone else is just kind of building on top of that. And there's nothing wrong with building on top of that. But I just like to dig into it a little bit and knowing all the foundation models being used. And then outside of those core foundation models, there's thousands of specialists on, 10 specialists on law, and specialist ones like this. How do you know? I think you just have to dig in a little bit and be wary of anyone that uses the logo that looks a lot like somebody else.
For harness specials like us, which I would you be recommending with the ChatGPT?
Yeah, so you go in by ChatGPT, class leading. I'm going to talk about you, David. There you go. So I'm going to talk about we talk about all of the good ones. But ChatGPT's good. Claude is great as well.
Yeah, those two are really good in that context.
So I think I guess all of us are there to be embracing using AI and ChatGPT in the case where institutions, maybe educational institutions, that want you to use it, and they have that thing. So using AI in fact is to make sure you don't use AI. You know how that works?
Yeah, they're actually using AI to check it. That's what that is actually how they're doing it, because they can smell that is that, because it pre-considered a cellular bug way, so the responses answers to make like that. But there's heaps of positives as well. So like each one has some at doing the study, and that you can go take this complex topic and give me break it down for me in a different way because they didn't understand my teacher. And it will actually take you through a really cool topic and say, yeah, I think the education and sort of how we do stuff is really up in the air, because it's like, there's really cool things, there's kind of copycat stuff, because, yeah, it's all over the show.
Yeah, I think in the context of text, there are models that claim to be able to determine whether or not AI is used to generate that text. The jury is out as to whether they actually work. And then people say that OpenAI have this amazing model that will tell you whether AI is being used or not, but they just aren't releasing it because they know it's OpenAI. So there's a lot of trust in the
Yeah, I don't give you a percentage score, so it'll say, what's the step from teacher saying last teacher, but he didn't do it.
Okay. I'm gonna accelerate as well, just to get through a little bit of material, because there's a few things I want to cover. But again, the step question's coming. I'll just talk outside. What makes the prompt? The role, we talked about that role. Like that kind of guides ChatGPT into which kind of word cloud to get its words right. So if you tell it to be an expert journalist, that will go over books very cloud, where this is drawn from equality journalism, task, context, instructions. All the prompts we've been using in our examples are good examples of copy. Good structure, role, task, context, instructions. I'm going to make this whole deck available to all of you doing so you're going to get all of this stuff. And in this example, like this, communicating complex material using plain English, upload the documents, this is what I'd like to turn it into. Where my communication objectives, you can give it a structure, like title, some of them the call to action. That's particularly important, serially proving. You need human judgment, and so in this example, I was doing some work using rugby, and I was creating a nice break. I wanted some quirky twist questions, and so I put this prompt into my chat. I would like you to give me 3 more quirky questions about Super Rugby clubs in New Zealand. And they gave me some answers. I was really amazing. I don't know, the Chiefs once ran on wearing the wrong strip. That's hilarious. How many more about that? Turned out to be complete hallucination. And a whole lot of other stuff. But then I went, what's going on here? And I went back and looked at my prompt. So it was in a stream of chatting with ChatGPT, and I already had some questions, and I wanted 3 more. But what did it pay attention to? It paid attention to more quirky engagement. And then so when it goes more quirky, it goes, I'm up this. You're going to go to on word cloud over here. And there's a concept called temperature, which basically determines the distance between words. So it can go raw quirky, instead of staying tightly to Super Rugby information, it's leapt over to a team of baseball players in the US taught the Chiefs, and a South African sports team that wore the wrong strip, and it just connected it all up. It's in here, you got it. Look it up. So then I created a new chat, gave it a role. You're a quizmaster. Immediately that says to it, you probably need to be accurate. And then give me 3 questions about quirky events relating to Super Rugby clubs. Got some great ones about like Hurricanes mascot, the Sun Up Tree, things that actually legitimately like the source and intent. Garbage in, garbage out. So think quite a bit about your content, because it actually makes a huge difference to one yet. So what's going on? I'm just going to go really quickly, kind of covered it. So AI is they're pretty robots, obviously. They've got the interfaces, like how you engage with them. So we've got the tools we talked about, our multimodal tools, images, text, photos. The model processes everything. You're talking about that word cloud. It's kind of an easy way to come about large language models. And the data that they're trained on, or they could give it. Because we remember using ChatGPT, they get a chatbot interface. And it's mostly text that it produces, so a large language model inside it. And the data that's pretty much all on instinct. And ChatGPT, you want the response to your prompt, which is why we call that generous and let me submit that to my question.
Just wondering if you're reading out what
Speaks. Will use that query. No, why did that say? For what it? Coding. Very important process.
figures.
It's kind of reading about that. Yeah.
We can link some ins.
But it's even better on your photo search. It's more interesting.
You can give it to the voice at hand.
Can choose it.
It does.
Yeah. One of them is suspiciously like Scarlett Johansson.
Well, again, sure.
And there's like, and then they just quietly took that one away from Scarlett Johansson, actually.
Except not in it.
This is really critical. GNAI is just maths. That's how it feels like it knows you and you're having a conversation. It's giving you really good life advice and kind of giving you a high five. They're doing a really good job. It's just maths. Never really, if it's giving you a recipe, you should use tomato, maybe mozzarella, make motor into pizza. To get others in spray, you're imagining how it smells and tastes. GNAI is no concept of what a tomato even really smells like or tastes like. And in fact, It is just seeing numbers. It's just giving you numbers. And we are like making it person-like and trusting it way more than we've ever trusted. It is just math. It's very good math. It's a very good style, tough maths. And those outputs are really based on what a team had organised before. We talked about how it's pre-training, how it was pre-trained, and the quality of the training is a bit impact on the output. And it's like maths combined computing power and artery planning has created this amazing tool. But never lose sight of the fact that it just makes just a really, really clever calculator that's probability. I find it's really reassuring because the calculator is not coming as my livelihood or my job or, I want it to, it's clearly. And it's got this thing called the transformer logic failure, and I'm not going to dive into it because we've kind of talked about it. It's like, it looks at your prompt, it decides what is it going to pay attention to. This is just going to pay attention to work. It's got a concept that how people get around. It's going to think, wow, nighttime does seem going to work by car. And so it'll give me car. The 10th time it'll say train. So you might think it'll go context other than money, so valuable. But it's probability. And it thinks about what to pay attention to in your clients. How it can pay attention to the wrong way or the right way. Which goes back to that, my super rugby example, pay attention to the wrong thing. If I say to the model, it's really important to get this right, or some of them die if you get this wrong, it starts to pay attention to essentially trying harder. It's the same as trying harder. But it's the same as using capitals, or even repeating the word lots and lots of times. Like, I really want you to tell me about trees. I really like trees, particularly tall trees. I wish that trees were green. Let's go going. You fighting this person. Sorry. Let's give it a lot of pay attention to trees and give you better outputs. Tree up.
It's just looping through to do that. It's just sitting there going, looping through, tightening up that cloud, taking out a little bit more, but that's how it's improvement.
Can you trust it? No, it's just that. Do you trust the calculator? Well, actually, it's probability. So then lots of outputs. So the amazing thing about the mathematical model, which was again about 8 years ago by about 8 Google researchers, I put this 8 together, they had this theory and film. This should work, put lots of data in that. So then I took 8 of them, put lots of data in that, and no, it does work. That's amazing. It's only 8 years old, this whole concept of the transformer model. But what's awesome about it is any of it can turn it in the output. So that's why we can put images in, bigger and so on, and put words in, get thousands. And it's pretty amazing. We can try it in terms of working in like in fun takes about it looks this bit. Really looking at different types of AI. So generative AI really great for creating new lane. It's really good for thinking tasks because it's generating output. You probably heard of process automation and robotic process automation. That does the same thing over and over and over again. It's great, I say to people having to repeat it fast. It's basically get this in like, if you get an invoice with this PO number, email this person. Really useful AI. Machine learning and deep learning and neural networks, that the last 30 years has been all about creating models that learn new ways of doing things, new ways of make chess better, new ways of optimizing your Facebook feed, new ways of TikTok, new ways of like rotting your brain and basically working out it's been to watch your film punch the brain, it's addicted to, and just showing you more and more and more of that. That's all machine learning, and it's great to software, great optimizing processes. I just wanted to touch on those because when you hear about AI a lot, but mostly you're hearing about generative AI, and it's new. The other AI has been around for ages, but if you're working in an organization and you're talking about AI, just check. Just ask a couple of questions, what's of that? Totally cross around too. They're interchangeable. That's why all these tools, Charity 20T was basically a new interface on top of OpenAI and Smooths. It's everywhere, Cascade it, and tell you your back on of tools and up a while. It's getting better. this is important to remember. So in November 2022, this data Ethan Mollick, who is also is an AI researcher, is on a plane using Wi-Fi. It's pretty cool, like the icon on the road. It's helped to make mine. November 2022, August 2024, same prompt. And this was done with Mid Journey, which is the best tool in August 2024. Same prompt, I tried playing music Wi-Fi, and I just jump across so you can watch this. So that image, so we created an image using lights that was great in Stolt and put it into runways, the video tools, and whereas that's it's just going obsolete now, and see how about accident. Whatever time it's happens. It's gone on like 30 seconds of work this man. Now he's deliberately used an auto in the name because that can easily get down a parody or a critique by anyone in that train. There's a lot of error, which raises all those ethical questions about what's real and what's not real. The point I want to make here is it's getting better. Generative AI is getting better and better, particularly in the image and video stuff. So if you're not happy with it today, come back and try it even another time.
What's the name is going to get to real?
Runway is a video tools. Runway. I've got slides coming up, Joe, and research to put it up. Just a quick question. What if you ask ChatGPT generate an image of Tom Hovey? Would it scan all the images on the internet and then sort of create a big new image from those? And the second question would be, is it generate an image of Tom Hovey in New Zealand? Would they do things? Now, I'm just going to show you what's going to happen today. But before I have it, I'm going to have to give you something wrong every time so far today, so we're not I think it will say no. I think that the guardrails, because they're always changing them from day to day, literally, it would have had to go. I reckon it will say, no, I'm not comfortable creating an image of Tom Hovey. Or it'll say, even if Tom Hovey, and I'll call my country. Let's see what that. I don't have access to a reference for what you look like, so I'll need a bit more detail to make sure the image represents you well. That name's I'm Tom Hovey. Does mine count it? Does it not go by, say, the image, so by the images tag, the photos tag with, the name Tom Hovey instead of. If I was using Mid Journey or one of those other image tools, that customize, that's how it is, so it has a concept. But they're getting tighter and tighter on copyright, so it would probably, it's a complex question. It would probably create like a slightly fake version. Now, if I ask it for an image of JFK, it'll give me a really good version of JFK. That's because all the photographs of JFK are now on other domain, and the 50 years have gone by. The photographs of Richard Edge, can you create an image of Richard Edge? I think it was struggle with that, and I can create an image inspired by the description of Richard Edge.
Yeah, but I think that experience, where this idea comes from, is this really a Google search, which is all about indexing everything. So maybe it started those things together. Make sure you could potentially point it to LinkedIn, and then you make.
Well, I can't get it.
That's the way we do it.
That which one's really interesting. Yeah, it was still changing all the time. And the creation image of JFK. I'm maybe going to explain who JFK is because you'll have a concept very curious. Oh, look, here's a change. I can create an image inspired by a figure reminiscent of JFK. Though it won't mean that likeness due to limitations on recreating the likeness of public figures. So it's guardrails are coming in. That kind of one. Yeah, that's cool.
And that's a new month.
Yeah, that's and it's all the time. It's like a week ago when it was getting in it. But these things, then it was so good. Well, we were talking about Gen AI today. So there's thousands of apps out there. And general purpose chat-based AI. And so we talked about ChatGPT, great. Claude is really good. It's the best for writing, generating content and tone and style and coding and stuff. It's brilliant.
It looks free.
Stuff for French, basically. Yeah, the French and proper.
Things did. Don't you?
It's funny why it's better.
What the?
Really good at copying about this.
Is it going to create?
Copilot is Microsoft. He's a Microsoft Copilot. It's a different content. It's generally within your Microsoft environment, and he's psychodon. And it's like something more secure, but it's what doesn't. That's in the big. Gemini is Google's foundation model and AI tool, and that's amazing. And then in Meta, it's Facebook. The AI is into that complexity. We touched on that earlier, like the research based on. These are all good. I could recommend all of those.
So they all have two versions.
Yeah.
You have to pretty much do like Gemini, Copilot, Meta.
Copilot, there's a free version in the browser that not inside Microsoft. That might change the Copilot made so that can tour.
Right.
Why did they call it P instead of Almonds? Because it technically is a more advanced version of Office Assistant.
Yeah, 100% agree. People often talk about Copilot being the reincarnation of Clippy.
Is it?
But
And Copilot's about as useful as Clippy. But it's getting immediate out, folks. Yeah, but actually the way like Clippy tells you we've been thinking about doing this fetishes, like we've been trying to kind of do this for a long while. Then you have those specific notes still, so I talked about Adobe Firefly images. A little of that's just really good for sound, the Kinect sound picks or voices, maybe podcast, while it's talking with your runways really good video. I recommend these ones because they're easy to use, so a more powerful one there I like Adobe because it's stuff quite difficult.
Yeah.
But there's 1,000 of them. And by the end of this talk today, it'll be engulfed.
yeah. Why the organisation quite really encourage on it or that can access our documents?
Yes.
How that called writing back over the say don't find it cause because I wanted to help him with writing and content.
It's okay. So you can use Copilot two different contexts. One, inside the document, turns out that it helps you write and resolve and engage big thing on that right-hand pane. Or you can go to the browser, copilot.microsoft.com, and you've got more open contents. If you want to do more writing, free stuff, go to it in the browser, in this feature. There's inside your document context is trying to be useful, like with your document, which won't be this much fun. And it's got limited context, so it's not understood at writing. So,
And it's not as that writing as the keyboard or speakers figures that.
True. So this is my in the browser version of Copilot. This is where you do a bit more fun with dirty writing tasks. But actually, how I was saying that there's you set the button, the think deeper button, which is think deeper, which means we're going to try harder not to make mistakes. What it's really doing is going, can you go and do that task? Okay, cool. Do it again. Okay, cool. Do it again. Now that I look at your answers and I'm going to decide which one is better. And it's just to try and reduce the probability that them takes longer. But it's quite cool. Policies and permissions. Why policies are needed? Because it can be inaccurate, misleading information, false up with statements, done privacy concerns, don't put this into stuff like that your favorite AI tool, copyright. You might actually end up generating with something so similar that would infringe right. Lack of accountability and transparency. So if you get AI to do something for you, and then somebody comes on to tell how to do that, you need to be able to explain it. So accountability is important. And ethical concerns, we talked about, so you're compliance and what's been trained on, it's just worth thinking about whether it was not biased to do. So the way that I think about this really simply, always double check responses. don't upload personal or private information. Copyright, honestly, in 20 years' time, I'll come back there and I'll still be talking about copyright. Use common sense stuff and get a lot of influence for in presentation. 20 years of copyright. I think AI to do something for you, you have to explain what it did. And I talked about those foundational models. So the all being trained on the internet in English with all the US bias. In fact, go with that. So be aware of that. One of the goals of the AI Forum is to create a New Zealand foundational model, which that's like a Kalmoe perspective for Jim Phillips, understands outcome cases. I mean, would that be amazing to have our own NZ GPT? We will get there, but do you remember the millions and millions of dollars to try this?
Pretty great. Question about personal private information. As you know now, and you begin to work up to and there is AI. Yeah, obviously that has access on is that encryption like is everything else? And what time? Is that prosecutors or does that teach him
Messing or the Trump battery? What's that? Is it hard? What's that?
network?
I was just saying, are they out there? Yes, they do. So Meta's actually all right. They have Llama, which is their foundational model, and it's actually open source, and they're kind of they're behind the eight ball, to a big case, and so their play now is to be the good guy. So it comes to AI and making models open source. Very unlikely. But they are worried about losing the AI battle. Can you trust Meta? No, not at all. I would say that.
You didn't know that watches you what's happening in printings.
So messaging is between you and WhatsApp encrypted. Yeah. But when it takes that information and puts it up into their large language model, into the cloud, there's not really any way of encrypting the model up there, but it can encrypt the message back. So it's like point-to-point encryption, but not encryption in the cloud. Now, who's to say that Mark and the team not just watching that cloud as a trying and just figuring out all of this? I personally wouldn't trust it, but shared painting in pitch.
So just on the pre-source and loading information, trying some stuff wet down. I know that we're all rusted a bit of some old tier or some comes on their keeper or something to throw personal information or because such as keeping various people up. We still got obligations called principles of policy. And one was trusted the place to dynamic commerce going store and that complies where it still complies the cut and zero bias stuff. Yeah. So from the list of ChatGPTs and things that you put up with for it, do you know whether it's specifically in terms of push-ons, I reckon quite easy to go see restored or do stuff, or is it just a matter of like you see when this comes up there, is it even doesn't translate it, really? And use the passive thing, touch like and but him not content.
Obviously bring things though, so that because it's like this is the big discussions whilst these organisations can pledge treating things with ethics. And how do they actually technically bring things to power, which is going up into this probability cloud? So it's like you're sort of saying, I'm pointing out yes, but it can't dump all that information and start again. So it's like, I don't believe that they have a solution for that.
So terms of points is really strict, really strong, and our way the terms of what goes on is this exactly.
Yeah, which is the policy, right? That's going to affect policy on to fit it.
Yeah, it's a good question.
What are your thoughts on closed GBTs?
Unemployed.
Closed
GPT.
Closed GBTs. There.
Yes.
Like it has.
Yeah.
Like it's yeah, right. Like running local versions on GenAI is really good. Really good for lots of reasons. Good for the environment if you're running that locally because you're not using those big data centers and pumping data across the internet. Good from a security perspective. And in the next sort of few years, there'll be a lot more of organizations developing their own closed, open sourced tutors. They're good. Quick where am I? Push matters. which kind of touched on it in the start. Everyone's using, well, not everyone, most people are using GenAI without permission. So I think it's really important that your policy actually says, are you at permission that are rules? And people who have permission are more productive, just more engaged, and 19 times more likely to report productivity improves. If they've had some trainings, look up the guidance. This is from Slack. So basically, permissions for it. So how to create our policy? So things to consider. The purpose, scope, and role of AI, that way when you set it and what they might use it for. When does accuracy matter? Ethics, that human accountability, training, like a lot of organizations turn on Copilot, or they say go and things online, actual need to do a little bit of training, maybe a little bit of how to use it, trust, what impact we use in AI have in the stakeholders. So some organizations have done some research and found that they say they use AI and trust goes down. Organizations find that they say they use AI and trust goes up. It depends on your stakeholders in your organization. See, it's a weird one. Some of them are like, of course, using AI, so trust goes up. And that's disappointing. You're using AI to study. Think about your audiences. How realistic is a policy? And in my job, I review lots of policies now. And some of them are so stupidly long that no one's actually read it. And they're like, is it going to be reached? I'll for short and distinct and realistic applicable policy. And so I made a vote for you. And then when I've answered these questions, please try up in short, saying a policy that I can use for my organization. And then I put a little bit of a guide out here, because I've not been able to sufficient on please make suggestions based on this correctly. You'll get the step by go to outdoors, put this content, and you'll have to do a little bit of homework. It'll keep asking you questions till it's heavy, and then it's going to give you a really good try. Post, I could talk about this all day. How to introduce GenAI. So the goal is to increase AI literacy across your organization and across all industry everywhere. You have to start with a permissive policy. Then you go with how do you know Gen AI works? And then you have to play around to find out what's useful. There's a lot of rubbishy AI use. You've got to really think about what's actually going to be genuinely useful. What's going to add value to your customers who come to train. Only you can do that. Don't go and get Deloitte to come in and give you a big playbook of many use cases of how you're going to use AI and determines. You do that. So you create the policy, you learn how it works, you play with it, and then when you figure it out what's going to be useful, and you can like codify it, like write it down, and go, this is how we use AI. Do a little pilot, and then update your policy. So hey, this is the area, because every organization is different. And by ChatGPT, GenAI is like an amorphous beast, and you have to shape it to your organization. When you figure out the shape of how it's going to be useful, then you put that into your policy, and then around you just code. The big guys, they'll start deploying technology, so they'll figure out, here's a really good way to use GenAI. So need to come in and data common, deploying your manage your like core to and that's good. And that kind of happens over here. For you guys, over the next year, 2 years, just do this loop, get the policy right, learn how it works, play with it, share it, pilot it, update, obviously. The whole point is everyone delivers literacy will try to send value in meaningful conversations. The source on the takeaways, that's the height. The height's done. Don't worry about the height. Just need to deliver it and start making it out and GenAI. How do you make useful? You can do all these things, research on my documents, transcripts, content, blah, 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 blah. You can write code, you can analyze data, whatever you can imagine in the creative space, GenAI can help you. And it saves you time and helps you do a thing better. And it actually works best when you ask for help rather than tell it what to do. And as a role, I'm trying to do this thing I'd like you to help me with. That is a really good way to work the GenAI rather than to let you go first.
I have a visual when I do this, and like you imagine having a grad or an intern and a helper, and then you sort of treat it like that. It's, you know, you would then let a grad go up and do something like highly critical, so you would then let a grad kind of, you know, you treat them nicely, get a bit of instruction. This sort of bit that kind of helped me visualize it a bit more when I was kind of trying to use a better term.
And that's really the key to GenAI. It helps you deal then better. It doesn't replace it. And honestly, generative AI without a human is like the tree walking in parts. It just doesn't have any value and it can't be trusted. GenAI makes experts want experts. Because you need that human judgment, you need to think about the prompt. So it's not about what GenAI can do. It's about what you can do with GenAI, and that, as we could say, hey, you know, that's not what happened if you can't what you can do with AI. Now, this image was created a few weeks ago when it was being created, and it was long times back. Okay. But I really genuinely believe that think about GenAI as your supporting power. It's the way to use it rather than it doing the work all this. And so when you think about it like that, it's always human, AI, human. So the human decides the subject matter and the output, and then maybe you get the AI to do some research, some summarizing, some thinking. Then we have to use your judgment and your interrogation, maybe you do the writing. But actually, AI would be really good at proofreading and making suggestions and giving you ideas for improvements. But you have to add final leadership of it. And always think that way. Human AI, human, but make sure the human is in. You always have to be accountable for your chain of work for the unknown number. And you can think about that as a Venn diagram as well. Even your context, tasking, finalizing, AI, research one, and then you work again, you could chat. And you have to think about, is it doing it for you or helping you do it? And that's really critical for thinking about types of AI usage. So like primary uses where the AI tool generates about that, it's where you're saying, do it for me. Write a haiku, words still can. Analyze this data, create an article, create an image. Verse code and secondary usage is where the AI helps you generate AI. That's how we do it. Underline a haiku, helping create a poem and make some. Helping do research on it, will help him with the first draft. Always be thinking like, doing the work for you, that's higher risk. And you're not accountable, it's going to make mistakes. Try and use GenAI for ways to help you do it. As well as a risk, and that actually makes you unsecure and gives you secure files. So I think this is like the most slide. I don't think you mentioned questions. Some core concepts I just want you to remember with our large language model. So that's the model at the heart of GenAI. It's all words cards I've been talking about. Frogs, it's like working with GenAI, it's like working with a person or like they're showing you what they're just talking about. A clarity instructions, get a bit of result. It's just maths, it's uses probability. It will be wrong and unpredictable. And hallucinations are actually a feature of generative AI, not like the magic power of its ability to pull these things together to create plans. If you want that magic power, we have to accept that maybe it will get it wrong. And so some people say, no, our GenAI doesn't hallucinate, and we go, well, merchant it's the end because it's not actually really possible. It will always have an element of hallucination. And then human data. You always need that human playing. Let's go playing, show you lots of time. This could be like, I don't know, playing. But what I will show you is instead, give some prompts and you can play the ones. Give some tips for working with images because that can bite straight in. That will give you TV with it, show what you'll be fast. 10. Yeah, in the zero and tab group, we kind of find the point. I swear, don't still do it for that. There's 5 minutes, please, or 5 minutes. Good. Others in the world.
So that this will be available tight soon.
Yeah, I'm comfortable setting that out ongoing if you were to know that within something that out like the museum out.
Buenas tardes. Starting
This
consider out the environmental impacts of AI. I think there's something that everybody needs to be aware of, and how it might play out globally in terms of how much it takes to say runs generative AI searches post of thing to search. I mean, I think that going most weeks onto a panel or something like that. So I'm not quite sure how what you said about using English opinions now it's in the ground
I have very strong opinion.
or situation or something to
Very marble and this recording. The good news is that we're all saying it's terrific, which means that they're getting lighter weight models and more interesting. Apple, for example, Apple Intelligence is kind of processing on all devices rather than cloud. So everyone's working towards making Apple more efficient tools. Do better prompting. There's better prompts require to work less hard than even keyword prompts. The other cynical part of the argument that Gen AI is really, really bad, but I'm reminded of us, we're using TikTok and we're downloading the video. It's like those videos on TikTok actually, dolphins is the kind of works idea. But we don't talk about that because it's not new or big. But the internet says that dreadfully